welcome to In My Opinion, Ladies Night Edition. So this is where we come over and we take over this mansplaining podcast. And we talk about the things from a lady's perspective. And I couldn't be more ready. Ladies. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. And the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, yeah. And with that, my name is Chantal Hayes Randall. I am a working actress here in Chicago and a wife and mama, among many other things. And I'm here with my guests.
I'm Emma Terrazas.
And I'm Jeanetta Edwards.
Who are also fellow actresses in Chicago and very, very phenomenal women in their own right. So with that, let's get into it, ladies.
Let's go.
Emma, you're my co-host today. Let's start with you. Let's talk about you, your career, where you come from, where you've been, where you going.
Yeah. So, I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I say? So I started acting a little bit later in life. I'd always been an athlete, so sports had always come first for me, and I was not going to skip my lacrosse season to be, in theater in high school. Like that was not happening. But my brother-in-law, he is a director, and he asked me to be the lead in a series called Girl Assassin, where, it's a strong female character revenging her mother's death by getting back at these men who who put her in that position in the first place. So that was my first start, and I always had a little inkling in my heart, oh, this would be cool, but I never pursued it. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd actually would have done it. I don't. Yeah, I mean,
well, shout out to you, in-law.
Shout out to him. Yeah, Shad Alamin. Owe it all to you. But yeah, and now I am finishing up a project that is a horror film, independent film. I'm the sister of the protagonist, and it's just a really creepy film. I was reading the script and I was scared. Okay. I legitimately was scared. I was like, oh my God. And I was looking around
that's the best though.
Yeah.
When a script makes you feel something.
Yes. And so I was really, really excited about that. And I got booked in 2019. And of course, with everything going on, we literally are just in filming right now. And I have one more film date and then we'll be done. But yeah, it's taken forever. And I'm excited that it didn't actually get canceled and pushed off, because, it's easy to get discouraged.
Yeah.
That it is.
Yeah.
Jeanetta.
Yes.
Where you been? Where you come from? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I was born back in 1876. I swear I've been here a few times, but we'll see. No, okay. So I'm from here. But as far as my acting thing, I've been doing it ever since I was a little kid. Not serious back then. I used to do a lot of plays and things at my church, and that was always really, really fun. And then I would have the members of the church tell my mom oh, she needs to be in some type of classes, and my mom was like, no, I'm not paying for that, And but it was just a natural thing that came. So, and I'm naturally goofy and stuff, so it kind of flowed together. And I pretty much didn't give it that much attention until I became an adult. Once I started doing it as an adult, I did a lot of background work for all the Chicago TV shows and stuff, Empire, PD, Mid, Fire, Utopia, things like that. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are dope.
Yeah. Ooh, Chicago shows.
Yes, they were amazing. And they definitely put you in it gave you the real perspective of what it's like on set, dealing with the different actors and dealing with the different directors. It was, everybody's different.
Yes.
And so I was very appreciative of the experience, because it definitely opened me up. Do you really want this, or do you really not? You think you do, but do you really want to dig into it? And so with me having those experiences, I was like, hell yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
As far as what I'm currently doing, outside of that, I also did a short film by the wonderful director. Her name is Terrazas Page. She actually has done several plays on leading up to now. We just did a film that came out last year. It was last November, I believe. It's called He Was There All the Time. And I was the character named Denise. I pretty much was like this little crackhead. But I played it so good.
Oh my God.
And everybody was like, you've done this before. And I was like, you know what? I haven't. But, I was able to portray it, thank God. So you guys should definitely check it out. It's super dope. And currently, I'm doing a play with her now. So she has a play that's going on. It's called Tamar. And I'm Tamar. Ha! There's actually tickets for it. They're currently on sale right now. Let's let you guys see it.
We'll have to put the link in the show notes.
Right. Yes, it's definitely on my Facebook page. You can send me a message about it, and I'll definitely let you guys know. Tickets are $35. It's going to be November 13th. This play, again, I'm Tamar, and it's basically about... Don't want to give any spoilers. But basically about overcoming your past. Okay. You guys, it's definitely a really, really, really great inspirational play. It can definitely relate to both men and women. So I definitely suggest, you guys check into it. Okay. And then I'm also currently auditioning for that. A film is coming. Can't talk about it too much right now. Trying to see what's going to happen. I'm in the final stages where they're going to make a decision, as to who's going to be casted for. So I'm waiting on that. Fingers crossed, But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me right now.
How about you, Chantal?
I just started acting professionally, I guess, in January. And ever since then, it's been like being strapped to a rocket ship. Just, man, the indie market in Chicago coming in right after the pandemic was like the perfect time because it was just, it was just a smorgasbord of opportunities. And so I just started sweeping up roles, and it's been really exciting. Sorry, guys. I just wrapped up When Love Comes Knocking this last July, which is out on Amazon Prime. I play the lead role of Veronica. A lot of fun. I'm also in this upcoming comedy as the lead role of Kim called STD, Suburban Transportation Department.
Wow.
So you already know. When at the table read, we were crying laughing. It was so funny. It's a lot like Bernie Mac meets The Office. So a little bit of breaking of the fourth wall, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of very strong comedic personalities. So it's been a wonderful challenge for me to be able to hold my own among like comedic greats in Chicago. So that's been a lot of fun. Got the lead role in Tyrone Tapler's Decisions for the role of Jasmine.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
So, and then I have a couple of pilots filming in November. So I'm really, really excited to see where they go, and then working on my own stuff in between. So.
That's fantastic.
We out here, y'all. Okay. We out here.
That's what I'm talking about.
So one of the things I really was excited to tackle with you guys is just being a lady in this industry. It feels like no matter where you go, there are twists and turns telling you can't do that, right? Whether you have male directors who are thinking that they know the woman's experience more than you, whether you're a minority and being asked to be playing like very stereotypical typecast roles. It just feels like, you're constantly navigating what feels like a minefield, right, for us in an industry that was never really made for us, right? So let's talk about that. One of my favorite questions is, what is your pet peeve when you watch a movie and it was written by a man about something a woman would never do?
That's funny.
Oh, God. Emma, you go first.
I have to think. I have to think too.
Sit with it, take your time.
But what's yours? We can hear yours.
Okay, action heroes and heels.
Yes,
right? Like, if you knew how difficult it is to run off of like an airplane tarmac and like dodge explosions and roar and like shoot and take out a whole group of bad guys And she's in a pair of kick-ass 6-inch heel boots. It's like, that doesn't add up.
Right. I'm like, yeah, why does she have to be wearing shoes?
Yeah. The Pumas.
Okay. Oh. Honestly, I haven't really thought about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to keep my eyes open
Right.
now.
I haven't really thought
That's
about it.
a great question.
Okay.
Yeah, think about it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to table it. And
Yeah,
ask
let's table
at the
it.
end.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see whatever.
Okay. Do you guys ever find any resistance to your ideas or takes on set because you are a woman? Like, ever?
I feel like I have experienced it, just because they just believe that whatever idea they have is better, or I've experienced giving an opinion or, about something that probably would look better, and then it was kind of like pushed to the side, but then later on like brought up, but not as an opinion that was given by me. They just make it seem as if they just came up with it on their own. It's like,
really?
okay,
Wow.
like, I mean, I kind of said that, but it's fine. You just said it a different way, but it's fine.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, that was all you. So I've experienced that, which is like, okay. But yeah.
Emma, what about you?
I feel like so far in my career, all of the directors have been like pretty open to what I want to say, but I'll say I have only been directed by male directors. So this is just something I just popped into my mind. So I'm like, I'm very interested to work with a woman. I think that'd be so awesome.
They are unicorns.
Right.
They are unicorns in Chicago. I am currently being directed by a Black woman, which I'm like, ooh.
Me too. I love that.
Yeah. Like this is really interesting. But it is hard to find lady directors in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume it's probably even worse in LA and New York. So
yeah, it's definitely tough.
I don't really necessarily find too much resistance to my script ideas, right? Like I'm allowed pretty universally to go off script if it doesn't make sense to how I would naturally say something. But I do also find that male directors are trying to put you in as little clothes as possible. You're just like,
how do you mean by that?
She can do all that with all her clothes on. Just like skimpy shorts or something like that. They just want to show, like they definitely want to emphasize that you're showing more skin. And you're just like, do I have to? Like, do I really have to? And then you want to respect their vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to hold up anything. And this is definitely not the hill to die on. But at the end of the day, you're just like, okay, well, that was a little bit of my soul that just crumbled to dust.
Yeah.
Have you ever either of you turned down a project because of like nudity or?
So, I had a project that I was working on, that initially when I auditioned for it, he asked about nudity, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with that. Maybe down to like a bathing suit type of ordeal, that'd probably be as far as I go. And, he was open to it, but then when it came down to filming and stuff, he still wanted to like show more. And I was like, yeah, I'm not with this. I can't,
Yeah.
And,
did he have an argument for why?
I mean, according to, his film, that it required that scene, and I'm just like,
but why?
Right.
You create the scene. Like,
right.
You're creating the movie, so.
Like, couldn't you cut it and you still, like, see, like, she's wearing a strapless bra, so you get the idea that she's topless, right? Without actually showing that she's topless. I'm still looking for the scenario in which that is necessary.
Mind you, the scene where it's supposed to be the sexual encounter taking place, it was supposed to be so quick. Like, I shouldn't be butterball naked anyway.
Right.
Especially for the area that we were in. Yeah. It's like, why? Like, why can't we just insinuate, that I'm naked? You want it to be the whole thing, and so it ended up not necessarily working out. And I was okay with it. I was just like, forget it. It's fine. I didn't want to be naked anyway. No thanks. But I don't think nudity is for me. It's not for me. At least, you know what? Let me say this, because I do have respect for like actors who do, go all the way and get nude and everything like that. So it's just like, you really got to pay me, sis.
Yeah.
That's really the train I'm on too.
You really got to pay me for real in order for me to Just expose myself.
When I think about it, when I think about it as well, like when I see female actors, whatever, on screen naked, I don't think anything of it. That's the other thing. So I'm like, okay, maybe one of my fears would be that people are going to think a certain way about me if I do agree to pose nude and whatever the scene calls for. So that's another, just awareness part. I'm like, why, that's kind of a opposite side of the coin to think about it.
Have you ever been asked to take a role that involves nudity or anything like that?
I have, and I turned it down. Kind of for this exact point that you said. I was like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Like, come on. Well, actually, I would have been in like a bra and panties.
Oh.
But I would have been like walking to the bathroom, coming back. I was like the one night stand kind of girl.
Oh, but couldn't you do that like in a t-shirt and underwear?
Possibly.
Right.
Like,
Once again.
Yeah. But I, like why? I consulted my good group of female friends. I was like, what do you guys think about this? I'm kind of torn back and forth because the role was next to a pretty well-known actor. So I'm like, this could maybe lead somewhere. Yeah. And the man who asked me was like a mentor to me, honestly. So no bad will towards him. He's just doing his job, trying to book the role, right? Okay. And I don't even know where I was going. Oh yeah, no, I did forget where I was going.
So the man that you were working with was a well-known actor, but this is why you turned down.
Yes. Why I turned it down because I was just like, it just didn't feel right. My first gut instinct was no, and then I tried to talk myself out of it. And I think that's a huge thing. What is your gut instinct?
Right.
You don't have to question that after. That's what I think too. But back to my girlfriend. So I was talking to them and they brought up really great points like, all right, so what is this woman being portrayed as? Is she the damsel in distress? Is she crying because she's the one night stand? And I'm like, not really. It seems like she's fine with it.
Yeah.
So that's another point of contention is like, what is the actual scene calling for?
Right.
So maybe I would feel empowered in that scene as a woman, like one night stand. This is what I wanted. Peace out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it really just depends. That's a really, again, something I was really thinking of. But at the same time, you can't control how she's written.
Right.
You can't just completely be like, oh, I'm just not going to cry here because I'm going to be powerful. And they're like, no, you're a damsel girl. Like, get those tears rolling.
Get them rolling right now.
So yeah. How about you?
I won't even audition. Because most the log lines will tell you straight up needs nudity, and so I have a hard no at full frontal anything. I've had a baby. I don't need the whole world to see this. I have too much family scattered across the country. It's just not what I'm interested in. But I also know that there is wonderfully creative camera angles, right? So I'm happy to do a love scene with a backless strapless bra, right? So you just see my bare back, so you're like, oh, it's going down, but actually I'm really covered. We can work it out, but I really don't need the world to know what I look like naked, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah. At this point, I would say no, but in the future, possibly. Yeah. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to pay me, honey.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see the baby.
I'm like, no.
This ain't Game of Thrones. Okay?
You better bra and panty it up, and it better be paid enough for that too.
Right.
Yes.
I'm sorry, money man.
And no offense again to the women who don't mind, right?
Yeah,
good for you.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, hey, that's your opinion.
Because in my opinion, hello. I'm like, no.
Emma said, when you see them on screen,
right,
you think nothing of it.
Right.
But
I'm like, girl, you play that part.
Yes, exactly.
This segues into my next question, which is, how do your friends and family feel about the roles that you've taken? Because, for example, I come from Dallas, Texas. My whole family is extraordinarily Bible Belt, African American, Christian, don't you know? And so, one of the last roles, my aunt called me and she was like, Chantal, you were just cursing a lot and you were acting like really ghetto, and you know, that's not how we raised you. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. I realized that. Also, by the way, I curse like a sailor. So, like, you know, guess you should know that about me. And so
You find out now, huh?
yeah, right. And I've over the last 9 months, a lot of that side of my personality has just had to been exposed for the rest of my family to see. So I'm wondering if any other women are dealing with this too, with the family like being like, "That's not really what we want for you, sweetie," and you're just like, it's whatever. It's just a role. It's like, it's not me.
Like,
you know?
you know I'm acting, right?
Right.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
So funny. So the Girl Assassin movie that I was talking about in the beginning, I had to like strangle my own brother, like my actual brother.
Oh, that's great.
And I was
I'm
like,
sure you'd wanted to at some point in your childhood.
I know, right? But I like didn't tell my mom or anything. I was like, I'm just gonna let her like watch it. And she watched it and was like, she's like horrified. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I not so much in roles at this moment, but online for me, because I'm also a fitness coach for actors and entrepreneurs. And so, you know,
we gotta connect.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, so I have to be vulnerable. I have to talk about certain things. And not that anyone, maybe they'll watch this, but like I've kind of like blocked my whole family because I feel like I can't be myself, and I need to be myself. And I see them in person. It's all good, but they don't know. And I think that's fine.
I might need to block a few people.
Block them.
Block them.
They don't know the difference.
That's true. I mean, honestly, like if I did that, I would also get a bunch of phone calls. Why did you block me?
Yeah.
So
I've experienced it though, commentary about things that I do say, but I'm kind of like this free-spirited individual anyway. So at this point, my family is kind of like, well, Zha's going to do what the hell Zha's going to do at this point, you know.
That's
but of
good.
course, you know, you have to deal with the backlash initially, you know, hearing the curse words, because I definitely have a Christian background and everything like that, you know, so dealing with curse words and so with the film that it was required for me to be nude, you know, I had a lot of commentary about that. Like, are you sure that's something you want to do? You want to just expose yourself all over? I'm like, wow.
I'm like, Auntie,
Hold on.
Slow down a little bit, guys. Yeah. Like, I really didn't want to do it either. But, and then that's another thing. Like, so in my mind at that time, too, why I was trying to accept it is because I was saying, like, I want exposure, you know, trying to do whatever I can to get exposure. But you also need to be mindful. Like, not all exposure is good exposure. So, you know, definitely tried to battle that. But just to answer your question, yes, I do. But now it's just like, hey, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it happily, proudly, boldly. Like, yeah, that was me. I don't care what you have to say. I'm going to do what I want to do because that's what I want to do. And that's it. That's all.
You want a good Christmas present or what?
Okay.
right?
You want that good Christmas present or what?
Awesome. I would argue, like all of my, if any of my male cousins decided to pursue acting, they would not get nearly the amount of scrutiny.
Oh, of course not.
Right. They could be in a complete action shoot 'em up movie where they literally slaughter entire towns, and the family will be like, "You did so great, honey."
Such a good point.
Exactly.
I say a few
That double
curse words
standard
and it's a problem.
Right. That double standard is ridiculous. But
It really is. It really is.
part of life.
So, we talked a little bit about social media. So let's get into it. Do you guys love it? Do you hate it? Is it love hate?
I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it strongly.
Go.
The only reason, so I actually just, I was on it, you know, when I was younger, then I got off because I was like, I hate this. I hate the idea of everybody know what I'm doing. You know, I have
That part.
like, it was a lot. And so I actually just got back on it a couple of years ago. And the only reason I did is because I was like, okay, I have to take my acting seriously. So I need to be, you know,
Promote.
yeah, I have to be able to promote it all over. And at this time, the world we live in, social media is the thing.
Girl.
So I was like, oh, mad that I got to get back on this, you know. But that's the only reason why I am on it. And of course, you know, like if you're having like a bored moment, you know, I'll be scrolling like just to see stuff, and then I'll look at things and be like, I really hate it here. Like, I hate social media. Like if I was like, I can't wait till when I become like really big in the industry. Yes, I'm claiming it. When I become really big in the industry, so I can have like my little person, like, handle my social media, because I don't want to.
I've had the same thought. I need a social media coordinator.
Yes.
By the way, like I do have a little bit of chunk change from all this acting, so like if anybody who wants to apply, slide into my DMs, because for real,
She's not playing.
I'm not. I really, I hate it that
are
much.
open.
I hate it that much. Entry level only though.
Right.
We ain't rolling like that.
Slow down. Don't do too much. I'm sorry. What is your requirement?
Emma, you said that you're a fitness coach.
Yes.
And so that means social media is really your bread and butter. How do you feel?
Yeah. I started online in 2018. So I've been online for a few years now. And it is like a lifestyle blend that you have to learn to love, because otherwise you're just not going to be able to stick with it. Right. So a lot of what I post is like, for me, social media is mostly just business for my coaching, for my fitness coaching. Now I am implementing more like, here's my acting side. And I've really been strategic on how I show up and the types of posts that I'm talking about, like specifically for entrepreneurs and actors. Because that's who I know, because that's me, right? Like I've been through it all, trying to feel really good about myself, and then transitioning from like audition to real life is like weird to like let go of these characters. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've just had to kind of force myself to love it. Like I don't actually love it, but as I'm being more myself and being okay to be vulnerable, it comes more, I don't say naturally, but a little easier, because I'm not like forcing myself. It's just like, I just want to share what's happening. And that's how I found most of my like mentors to be successful online, is when they're just like real people, you know? So yeah, I agree. And I'm like I love it, but I'm like, And I actually do have a social media manager.
Do you?
Yes. But again, she doesn't necessarily work on the acting side for me. Like that's all me. That I have to post. I've like barely posted anything about my acting. Like it says that I'm an actor, but it's like, what? So yeah, give me a minute to update that, y'all. But yeah, so I'll write everything. Like I'll write all of my own captions for the most part, and she'll just go in, edit it, put a picture up for me, and like schedule it out. And I found that was really helpful, because that was a point of contention. I just wouldn't post because it's like, oh, so much, like this is it's just gonna take forever, and I gotta write, and I gotta find a picture. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm inspired, like let me write something, let me put it like in the brain dump, and then she'll come back to it next week and make sure it gets posted. So
is she taking on more clients?
yeah, she is.
All right,
Christina Park's studio.
Let's talk.
She's amazing. Yeah.
I will reach out, because I need to outsource that.
Seriously, yeah. It's great.
I hate it. I hate it. A few years ago, I decided I wanted to be an influencer. So I just decided to study it and do it just because I could.
You have 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Right. That's
but
amazing.
my engagement is low because I dropped out after 6 months and just ghosted. Like, about a year. Just like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the growth. I couldn't handle the pressure. I couldn't handle the brand collabs. I was like, this is bad shit crazy. Like, this is insane. Like, I can't handle it. And so,
yeah,
I lost all of my engagement. So the followers are there. Thank God. I can still see it bleeding, but I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just trying to post more authentically, more organically, use it to purely promote acting. But then I have a whole day job that I also feel really guilty about, because I work for a global Christian nonprofit.
Wow.
Oh, that's
so then
great.
I'm like, I can't really post what I want to post, because I have two people from work, and I know, but there's a whole social media clause. You might be right. There's a whole social media clause I had to sign as an employee, because they so I'm like, okay, what can I? So I'm really freaking out. So I might need your girl to help me with all these things, because it's a very stressful thing. Otherwise, I'd be posting, thirst trap beach photos and really enjoy my best life. But, you have to make sure that you are appeasing all of your audience, at least in this case.
Yeah, and I kind of suck. I don't from like mine. I think does my social media say actor? See, this is what I'm saying. Like I'm terrible at it. I can't. I don't even know if it says actor. I think it does maybe, but I barely. My social media at this point, I just be sharing stuff like everybody else's success stories and different things that's going on with them. I'm sharing I'll share all day. But as far as posting myself, that only comes if I'm about to do something. Like for example, Tamar, yeah, I post that and I share that, but after that I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do anything else, but having a person there who's able to, get those times scheduled out for different things that's going on with you, keep everyone updated on what's going on, things like that. I don't do it. I can use her. It would be very helpful. Because I suck. I hate it.
I mean, in the last 8 weeks, I've gotten 4 or 5 different opportunities from randos sliding into my DMs. Not like weird ones, but like, got represented that way. I've gotten roles just straight up offered to me that way.
Wow.
Leveraging
See, that's the goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Social media is a wonderful tool. And it was right around when I was about to start ghosting again, guys. So I was like, okay, this is motivation for me to keep posting. But it's an important tool. And if you aren't using it, then people can't find you. And if people can't find you, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think there's like a bare minimum that you can do, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about consistency. So if you decide 3 days a week I'm going to post, that's all I can do, great. And you can schedule it out yourself, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, I know, but that's so much effort.
It's effort. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, 100%.
I have so much. There's a lot that's going on. So me trying to be on top of social media, that's like, bro, that's the last thing I'm thinking about at this point.
I know.
I mean, you're a wife and a mom. I don't even have none of that. But
yeah, I could barely handle myself. Exactly. I'm like,
it's a lot just being me. So I can imagine like the added stress that it is, for you trying to have to stay on top of that. So I can understand you ghosting, girl. I would have been ghosted.
But I'm also a creative director.
Yeah.
So I love storytelling in all of its myriad forms. And social media is another form of storytelling. If I had the mental space to really get behind it, I can make that Instagram explode. I just don't care.
Well, let's try to care.
I don't care at all, y'all. Segueing actually. What is your day jobs? What do you guys do when you're not moonlighting as a glamorous actress?
Well, I currently work at Northwestern.
Oh.
In the fertility department. I actually just got promoted congrats. I actually just got promoted. Yes. Come on, background. Yes, I just got promoted actually on Monday to a patient liaison for a different department. So I'm really excited about that. It's a new role that they actually just created.
Ooh,
wow. I'm it's kind of like I'm gonna have to like outline how this process works, which I'm actually looking forward to. Because I can follow, policy procedures and guidelines and everything like that. But when I have like a little leg room to make my own way, to make it work, that works best for me. So I'm excited about that part. But yeah, that's what I do.
That's amazing. You're the first in this position. So you're like writing how that's
exactly.
That's ideal.
Creating like a blueprint of how to do
fantastic.
This.
Yeah. Congrats. It's so cool.
There's no one to compare you to either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's
it's
really
all
good.
me.
I love that.
Emma, what do you do? Aside from the fitness, that's it?
Yep, that is my full-time gig. I also nanny 3 times a week, like 5 minutes from my house,
Nice.
which is the only way I would be doing it. And I love it. I don't feel like I'm working. Like, I love working with kids in a more relaxed environment. Like, I don't think I could be a teacher necessarily. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, my family's like, you'd be a great teacher. I'm just like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know I really would be, but I'm not. So in this way, I kind of fill my own cup up with like that sort of love that it's fun. I just am a kid. Like, let's play badminton. Let's play basketball. Like, what's in the fridge? I'm hungry. Like, I literally just eat when I'm at their house.
Yes.
They specifically leave leftovers for me, and they're an Indian family, so the mom cooks.
Oh, you got the gig.
Yes, yes. So
what am I doing with my
it's
life?
great. It's great.
I nannied for years, and it's incredible. I nannied once for a French family, and that changed my life. I'm so much classier now, you guys. Like, it was just, there's something really wonderfully intimate about being a part of a family. Yes. And especially if they're really good, employers, then you just feel like you're just a seamless third parent. And then the kids love you and the parents love you and Christmas is wonderful. And I loved it. I really did love it.
Yeah, that's what I love the most, is just being a part of families. Like when I was younger too, I babysat for a whole bunch of different people, but now I'm just specifically for this one family. And so I'm like, one of their families, like my birthday just passed and my birthday was on their calendar, like little cute things like that. I'm like,
so cute.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, they're very sweet.
Yeah, and bomb Indian food, right?
Oh my God.
Oh,
so good. I've learned one dish that I have to perfect, but I'm like, I gotta get in this kitchen and start watching. So yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Well, I want to talk about dating and relationships as an actress.
Ooh.
I know. It's just let's get into it because we've been warmed up. It's 35 minutes and where's the wine? Do you guys find that your partners are overwhelmingly okay with it? Are they okay with it up until love scenes? Are they just straight up not okay with it? Have you ever lost a relationship, right? Because they're like, I can't handle this. This is a lot, right? And then I want to hear from you guys first. And then I'm married, so we have our own
that's totally different
conversations. Right. Yes. So yeah.
So I have been dating the same guy for going on 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, which is really exciting. We've had a great relationship, honestly. Of course, ups and downs and things like that we've gone through. But this is something that we talk about all the time. Like, he kind of agrees, is like, unless they're paying you a lot, like, I think, maybe, because maybe you can be nude, but yeah, there's one scene that I did when I was at my acting class where I had to kiss this boy, and I told him about it, and he was kind of upset, like, this is just practice. Like, you're not even getting paid for this. Like, what the heck? And I was like, yeah, you're right. But he understands. He's cool with it, as long as I think the communication on my part has to be, like, on point. So, yeah. But it is something I want to continue to be very, very intentional about, because I really value our relationship. So
yeah. Jeanetta.
No, okay, so
I know the sigh.
Yeah, we all do. It's complicated.
No, it is complicated. No, okay, so I'm not in a relationship completely right now in the moment. I'm technically single, but dating. But who I'm dating now, they're completely supportive and excuse me, knows that, with this role, not this role, but knows in this industry it will require, kissing and possibly sex scenes and nudity and things like that. Now, the nudity conversation hasn't really come up. However, I definitely agree with you about being, upfront, communicating. Like, communication definitely has to be key, making sure that there isn't any issues with that. But as far as conversation about, different things going on, like, we're completely okay with it. There's we understand that it's acting, know. So, and I think that's the good space that we're in with that, because it's like, if you cannot understand and trust the fact that I am acting, this is not going to work, because you're going to be uncomfortable all the time then.
All the time.
Especially because you're going to see me kissing this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in Tamar, I have to kiss somebody.
Yeah.
So, and then this is a play. It's not even a movie that you're going to go see on screen. This is a play. So you have to be
in the room
watching me like, So it's
that's messy.
Like, right? So prepare yourself, but right now it hasn't been an issue, which is great, so hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
Block them.
Right?
Block them.
Black is definitely finna happen. Thank you so much. Black is
you guys are
definitely
warned. There's gonna be a mass social media sweeping. between the three of us. Like, dang.
Yeah, but Chantal, I imagine you being married and
and a mama, somebody
and a mom, yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I decided to do this professionally, my background is branding and marketing, right? So automatically I'm like, what's my brand? You know, what are the roles I want to go as? How can I position myself in the marketplace for this? And I was like, I want to be a romantic lead. Lo and behold, you say that thing out loud, the universe is really ready to jump on it because that's my typecast, is romantic lead. So that means I got to get real comfortable with kissing scenes and intimacy scenes and all sorts of things real quick. And so did my husband. We just have ridiculously open communication, and he is wonderful. Every so often I'll say something, and like, for example, I have a sex scene coming up next week that I didn't tell him about, and I was like, and the actor who I was supposed to have a love scene with dropped out because he was so uncomfortable. And so I was like, hey, honey, do you want to audition for this role? You know, just think, half joking, but he might. He always, like, you know, just jokingly says he wants to be an actor. And I was like, if you get it, you know, you get to make out with me in a closet. And he's like, you're going to be making out with someone in a closet? And I was like, about that. Yeah.
I didn't mention that before. Oh.
Yeah. He just like walked out of the room, and I was like, yeah. So, but then we talked about it later, and he's like, yeah, and like, I totally get it. Like, you know, I've explained that we have 5 people in the room, and they're all like up in your face and around you. Like, there's nothing romantic about it. So, you know, the initial shock, I think I can see it hit him every time he finds out, and then he has to think about it and process it, and then he's like, I'm okay though, I'm okay. But then also it requires us to have just a rock strong relationship at all times, but especially when I'm filming. So yeah, I think it's harder on my family, honestly, because they're not in my marriage, right? Like, so they're just like, what is she doing? Like, is she doing this? Like, you know, my dad came to my first film premiere, and I had an implied love scene there, and there was nothing really going on. It was just like pan over the clothes and laying in bed and all the things, and he was still like, this is weird. So I'm more concerned about them, but
what about,
as Emma says, block them. Just block them out. Just block it out.
So what about so how old is your child?
He's 3.
He's 3. That's so cute. So do you think it'd be difficult for him once he get older and seeing mom kissing and having these scenes with someone who's not dad? You think that'd be difficult?
He won't see none of that stuff till he's like 16, 17, 18. And so hopefully at that point we can have a very real explanation.
Okay.
But I think, like, when I think about all the actresses, right, who have kids, they're dealing with this. Like, even like goddesses like Emily Blunt, right, who's like the most proper. She's often a romantic lead, and she has this whole thing, and her kids are going to grow up to see that. And, you know, you just let them know it's make believe. This is not real.
It's not real, babe.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. And I think a strong marriage, like, knock on wood, being married, Jesse, you're still married, then you know, that's proof that all is good.
That's good.
Something I've wondered and thought about deeply, like, what will my life be like when I am married and have kids and juggling?
It's struggling. No, it's struggling. Yes. You had it right.
Struggling.
Yeah, how that would be like. So I don't know. What words of wisdom could you give us?
Right.
It doesn't work. How about that? Okay. I hate to discourage you. Well, acting and motherhood is like oil and water. They do not go together in any which way, shape, or form. The only way I do this is I do not sleep. That's it. It's great. Shit. You just don't sleep. Yeah. You just don't sleep, and you have to have a ridiculously supportive husband to pick up the slack that you will inevitably leave behind. And that's that. So, for example, yesterday I woke up at 3:30 in the morning because I had to be at the lake at 5 in the morning to film for work. We're running the Chicago Marathon in a few weeks, and yesterday was the 20-miler run, so we had to be there to capture footage of people going through this emotional journey. So I wrapped up that by like 10:30. Had to leave that early, right? Because I'm like balancing it all. Get home by 11 so my husband can go to jiu-jitsu, which is his thing that gives him life, right? And I need to stay married, so we prioritize his things. Get home, take care of my son, put him down for a nap, take a freaking nap myself. My husband comes home halfway through, lets me sleep till 5. I wake up at 5 p.m., spend a few hours with the family, dinner, laundry, all the things. put my son to bed, hop in the car, go record a podcast last night until 1 a.m. in the morning. I got home about 2, managed to make it through the Popeyes drive-thru right before they closed. Yes. Went to bed, passed out. My husband, once again, took the kid this morning so I could sleep and be a full person so that I could wake up at 11, get dressed, do another round of laundry, get in the car, and come here. And I was still 30 minutes late, past the time I wanted to be here. After I leave here, I get to go home, switch out the laundry, pack a bag, because I have to be on set for a night shoot tonight until at least midnight, 1 a.m. Tomorrow, I have a full day of work and costume fittings for another project that I'm on Wednesday. There is no sleep. Unless my husband's like, I love you. You just get the rest while you can. So,
can we get the round of applause thing?
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Randall.
Go ahead. Yes, that's dope.
Yeah. So that's the only way it works.
I mean, that makes total sense considering the fact that, you know, most people in the industry, they talk about having a nanny or someone there who takes care of their kid because you literally can't do it all by yourself. It's impossible, you know. So, and I've already set it in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have a nanny. I'm going to have a chef. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that because clearly I can't do it all. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I want to make sure that my kid knows me. Like, I don't want you to be raised by my nanny.
I was going to say the guilt. That's a great plan until you remember there's guilt attached to all that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I still want to raise my kid. I want my kid to know, like, if my kid falls, I want them to cry, oh, I want mommy, not, oh, I want the nanny, you know? Yeah. So I'm hoping that I would be able to balance it. So that's super dope that you have your husband there who can do that. You know, I hope that, you know, I can have that support system, you know, when it's time for me to go ahead and bust out a child and have that type of lifestyle. I'm really hoping that it can work.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I left my son crying today. He came home. He was tired. They went to the park and he was just grumpy. But then he didn't want to take a nap. And so he was melting down. Like, I don't want to take a nap. I don't want to, mommy. Mommy, just hold me because I don't want to take a nap. And I had to say, I'm so sorry. Your father, I'm going to cry. Your father has to read you your book before nap time because I have to get dressed and I have to go. So, you know, it's all smiles and games until you have to look your son in the eye who's literally crying for you and say, I am so sorry. That said, I do try to get my time in when we can. Most of the time I try to hold at least one full weekend day so that, you know, we can take him to the park or we went to like the Renaissance Fair or apple picking or to the beach days, things like that. And then during the week, I am super, super, super involved. Jesse and I switch off every other morning. And so I get up with Raiden every other morning when he wakes up and take him to school. And then pretty much every night I'm there for like nighttime, bedtime routines and all the things.
Thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable and telling us all that.
It's not a dream. It's not the dream. Speaking of dreams, though, let's get a little happier. Gosh.
Right.
Bummer.
No,
sorry, y'all.
That's real life.
It got real dark.
No, it got real. It got real.
What is your dream role? If, like, who would be calling you or sliding into your DMs in the ever-present Instagram and say, I want you, and what would that role be?
Oh, my God.
Let's dream.
I want to be everybody. I want to be called by everyone. Like everybody, to be honest. But no, like, so honestly, ultimately, I want to be doing some type of, I really like comedy. Okay. Cause I'm goofy as all get out. So I kind of want to be doing some type of comedic sitcom. But then at the same time, I really love SVU, so I kind of want to be like a cop. So here's the thing. So like my background has of jobs. I've been the most random things in the world. And one of them is I've been, you know, like an unarmed/armed security guard, my little self, right? And so in my mind, I believe I'm a cop, right? So I'm like, I can play these cop roles. I can kill these cop roles, you know, which clearly you have to be serious during those. And then at the same time, I was like, but I want to be funny. Like, I love Melissa McCarthy. And I'm like, I want to be funny just like her. And I feel like,
she's hilarious.
Yes. I'm like, I want to be funny just like her. But then at the same time, it's like, I want to be like Queen Latifah because she's pretty much like any and everything. So I'm like, now she's my definite go-to. I feel like she's everything, you know? So I kind of want to do it all and be with everybody. You know, I don't have like that set, oh, I just would really love to just do this. I kind of want to do this, that, this, around here, that too, all that. I'm like everywhere.
Come through.
I love that. When I think of a woman whose career I really admire, I always think of Julia Roberts.
Oh, she's dope.
Especially because of her like private life too. Like you don't hear about her.
Yes.
You know? But then I'm like, that's not how I'm setting myself up to be right now. But I think back then was so different, right? Like
the 90s.
You didn't. What's social media? You know what I'm saying? So, but I just love her brightness. She's got a great smile, obviously, and I just think she's a great actor. My dream role would be a superhero of some kind.
Ooh.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think that'd be really, really awesome.
Do you have a specific one in mind?
I mean, Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Okay.
super
I can see
cash.
it.
You know, something along those lines. Even Scarlett Johansson was amazing. Like
Black Widow.
Yeah, anything like that. Also, playing a Native American, I would feel like very seen and fulfilled. Recently, I found out that my great grandmother's 100% Navajo Indian. So that makes me like 14% or something like that. But still, I feel it in my bones, like the connection to earth and just love and animals and things like that. I know it sounds kind of funky, but me like, playing a Native American would really like fulfill that side of me, I think.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So if there's a director looking for a dances with rules,
Right.
remake.
Okay, so basically Twilight needs to come back. Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Emma needs to be in there.
Yes.
FYI.
Here's
If
my
y'all
face.
are listening.
Here's my straight face, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Take a look. Take a look.
Get
Yeah.
a headshot.
Catch it. Catch it.
How about you, Chantal?
Bridgerton.
Oh my God. It was
I
so
really
good.
I am dying to do. I've been working on my RP accent, and I am dying to do like a period film, right, with like full accents and show black people. Black people was there. We was there, y'all. Don't let those English whitewash history books fool you. We was still there.
Yes.
There is a book written called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by, I think it's like B.B. Schwab, and the film rights are bought, and I think they're trying to attach Greta Gerwig to it, and I'm like, oh, that role would be just wonderful. Yeah, honestly, just
Amazing.
Put me as an extra in Bridgerton.
I will
Watch me work my way in.
Okay, I will extra out of that role. That's dope, though, y'all. That's dope.
Do you guys find that you were ever typecast as anything in particular?
I don't feel like, no, not specifically. I don't think so. I think it kind of just, like the roles that I've done, I feel like it was more given to me due to like what I portrayed in the audition. So like what I was comfortable with, you know, because I also had something that I was working on, which due to COVID got, you know, pushed back. I was auditioning for a role, and the character that they had was like this older woman, you know, and because of the type of energy that I brought, they ended up rewriting it, not only giving me that part, but changed the age range to match mine. So it was they made it fit me, which I was super excited about. But of course, it got pushed off due to COVID, and we're just waiting to come back from that. But yeah, it's just I've been casted as whatever I brought to the table versus, you know, being typecasted as something. So
That's
lucky. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'm hoping it stays that way, though, because I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I will definitely want to be well-versed.
For me, not really, actually. Everyone's kind of confused at like my ethnicity. They're like, what are you?
Don't you love watching them try to figure that out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can see their gears going in the audition room like, what are
Yeah. Yeah. So no, yeah. My answer is no. Not yet.
That's good.
Wow. That's like really rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially, like, because, you know, generally for just speaking as a Black woman, you know, you're typically chosen to be, like, on drugs or some type of down and out, you know, and it's hard trying to get roles as like a powerful Black woman, you know. So we're out. In a sense, I feel like it's coming around now. I feel like it's getting better. Yeah. But generally, like, we're kind of viewed as in a negative light, I believe. You know. So I'm happy that I haven't been pushed into that area. Like, of course, I played a crackhead, which is not the best. You know.
Everyone's got to do that once.
Right. Everybody's got to do that. Knock it out at least one good time, you know. Especially because I killed this. I was like, you know what? You know.
That's great.
But definitely one good time, knock it. Yeah, one. You know, but I'm glad that I haven't been just forced into that role, you know, countless times and everything like that. I'm just hoping it stays that way. And luckily, Tamar is not that.
Good.
So, yay. You know, but hopefully it stays that way. What about for you?
I'm always asked to act more hood consistently, often by Black directors, which every time it happens, my soul dies a little bit. Just like,
Is that all you see, huh?
Yeah, is that how you see our people?
Yeah.
You as our people, is that how you see us? And me and my husband have had many, many conversations about this. He's mixed, and I'm actually like full African American, that you would never believe it looking at my face. But I was raised super Dallas bougie socialite, you know. Yeah. So it's like all the things, you know, like ugh. And then I come up here and I see that obviously Black people are not a monolith, but I see that there's a certain lifestyle that a lot of people are very much experiencing day to day here, right? That is not part of my background or my knowledge whatsoever. And so for them, they want to realistically and authentically portray the lives and the people they see around them, right? And that involves me having to evolve myself to be more hood, but it also makes me really frustrated because I'm like, but the rest of the world sees us as hood all the time, you guys. We don't have to do this.
Where we can do something different.
Yes. And so it's a real struggle. And then I just said, you know what, this is when I need to start writing my own stuff.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Let's
turn it around. Let's get a new, fresh takes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because honestly, when you're a great actress, you should be able to portray anything, you know?
Anything.
So, yeah, turn it around. And I'll audition.
Come on.
Me too.
Come on. I do.
I'll be in there somehow.
Come on, Emma. We're going to audition, and we better get in.
Emma. Yeah.
We better get it.
We better get it.
So, Emma, I saw in your last time that you were here. Okay. I'm getting a note from the producer. Okay. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to interrupt this podcast to say, in my opinion, is the best podcast in the world, but also, seriously though?
Yes.
But also, I kid, but we're about to cross the 2,000 subscribers line, and that is an incredible milestone for this podcast.
Yes.
Shout out to Miguel and John for just knocking it out, making this Joe Rogan profesh setup just so sexy, and also doing the work, right? Like having this many guests, scheduling it, and being this consistent for over a year, that is no small feat. So
you guys are dope.
You guys got to like and subscribe this stuff because it's good. And now we got the spinoff of Ladies Night,
okay,
right?
Ladies Night.
So it won't just always be two dudes talking about dude things. We're gonna have some lady perspectives up in here, and this one is much more acting and actress focused because we are all actresses. But you know, as we move on, we'll probably branch out into other topics. So
yes, sir. Yes,
that is my plug. I was gonna say, last time I saw you on this podcast, because you know I had to stalk you guys a little bit. You were saying that you had written a short. How's that going?
With the rollerblading?
Yeah.
It's still in its first
That's okay.
First stage.
First stage.
That's fine.
Still open to ideas, working around ideas, but yeah, we've been practicing our roller skating.
Yeah.
I literally gear up like I'm 5 years old, like going out. Like I have elbow pads, wrist protectors, knee pads, helmet, watching YouTube videos, trying to learn how to roller skate. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Awesome.
That's
Hopefully this fall, like now that it's nice, not as like scorching hot, we'll be able to like go outside and get some footage and things like that.
Is it like roller derby-esque?
No, it's mostly like two girls, two friends, just like living life, but we love to roller skate.
I love it.
So yeah, honestly, any ideas that you'd have, like,
yeah, let's do it. I mean, I started writing my own script.
That's great.
I can't wait. It's
Can you share what it's about?
Yeah. Last time I talked on this podcast, I was like, I need to write my own something. And Miguel was like, yeah, you should. And I was like, yeah, I should. I'm like, I don't have anything now, but it will come. And then that weekend, 2 days later, idea came.
You're really good at manifesting things, it seems.
It is actually my familial superpower. My grandmother was incredibly good at it. And I have an auntie who's also incredibly good at it. And they just passed that superpower to me. So I've actually become really careful about what I say out loud. Because I'm like, do I actually want this? Because as soon as I do, boom, it happens. Never the way I expected, though. Anyway, I digress. The script is, it's a romance because I love the romance genre. I believe in it so deeply, you guys.
I love it too.
Yes, especially to see people of color falling in love outside of trauma. Right?
Yeah.
So important. I am so sick of Black trauma stories. And so I really want I love love. I love romance. I love the lens of truth that you can get through relationships if they're done right and if the story is told right. And so I started to write this script with references and inspiration based off of Marriage Story, The Last 5 Years, High Fidelity, and Someone Great, which is a really random assortment. But the one through line they always have is that they both tell about a full story of a relationship in full spectrum and how it goes wrong through flashback. And so that is the inspiration for this script. And I knew I didn't want any of the characters to be stereotypical. So as I'm writing, of course, I'm the lead because, Leo, and I'm not going to write anything where I'm not the star.
We got it. Come on.
Come on. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Maya is like this super hippy dippy bohemian, like sage and crystals and like all the things, like super into it. And so we started location scouting like these hippie apartments, and I'm so excited. And then the lead is this guy from the Dominican Republic who I actually worked with on a different project. And he's like this super buttoned up marketing corpo exec, right? But he's doing it because he was an immigrant. He paid his way through college and he has to take care of the rest of his family. And he's like, I am not going to be poor. And this is the way I'm going to go. And so, it's just, and she could care less. She's like an artist and all the things. But, I've already started writing some scenes. And so there's like really nasty fight scenes, of like where it goes completely wrong. But then there's also like the falling in love montage and all the things. But now I'm working with other writers to make it sharper, not cliche, right? Like, get some more funny moments and comedic moments, and just wherever I fall short, making sure that is up to speed. So it's still very much in its pre-production stage, like, still being written. But I did find a production company to produce and direct it.
Yeah.
And so
Thank
you. So yeah. And then I just talked to Miguel and I want him to be in it too.
Woo!
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're building, I'm assembling the Avengers. I got a cameraman, I got a producer, I got a director. Like we're getting there. We're getting there. We have a location manager. There's people who do casting. I'm so thrilled. So
that's super dope. Congrats.
Yes.
Congrats. Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I'm hoping I can release it maybe the beginning of next summer. Because it takes that long to pull together a military operation of making stuff. So let me know and we can partner up and figure out,
that'd be great.
How to get more lady directors out in this city, man.
You guys are being super dope, and I'm not. Like,
that's false. Patently false.
No,
Miss Tamar.
Yes,
come
seriously.
on.
But it's like
lead in a stage play. Guys, if you don't know, theater is way harder than TV and film. It requires so much more endurance. You have to go through a set of rehearsals. The characterization is deeper. It is. TV and film is chump change compared to the theater.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. I actually, for the Tamar thing, I have to do the interview. You know how they do interviews like behind the scenes with the cast, like, type of thing. I have that today. So as soon as I leave here, I have to go get my makeup done to do that. You know, girl. So that's exciting. But no, I'm talking in reference to YouTube with you all writing these shorts and directing and stuff like that. Like, super encouraging, because ultimately by the time, you know, because I feel like I'm gonna be acting for years and years to come, but by the time I'm like old and gray, I want to be behind the scenes.
Totally.
You know, so I definitely need to get my practice in at this point. You know, I'm thinking I need to go ahead and get my little startup going, you know.
You'll know when it's time, though, because eventually you start getting frustrated that you can't control the stories that your body is being used for.
Right.
And so once that frustration bubbles over, you eventually say, I'm gonna make my own stuff so I can tell my own story. But you have to wait for that moment, because otherwise it's just, you're just forcing it. You know?
It's not there yet. I'm just excited about what I'm currently doing, but you know, it's definitely a little bug in the ear now. Like, so I appreciate you, ladies.
I was the DP for Miguel's film, and let me say, it was so nice not worrying about what you look like, showing up to set.
Yes.
Like, you know, you want to make sure you get good sleep and all that, but it's like, nope, I'm in like my DP like clothes, like, I just had to hold the camera today. I had to be on that. Yeah. So that was a good experience.
Yes.
Really fun. Really fun.
Absolutely. Well, I might recruit you.
Yeah.
Into my Avengers assembly. You know, because we need more women on set always.
Right.
Always,
I think
always,
I still would rather be on screen, but it was a good experience, and I would totally do it again. For sure. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, you know, it's still being written. We can find a role for you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hello.
Let's go.
Hello.
All right, we got a 5-minute mark. So let's go with one last question. What has been your favorite role to date?
My favorite role? Honestly, I would say Tamar is my fave. Tamar is my fave right now. Just because of what, you know, she represents and how she overcomes her past, you know. Like I had said, you know, it's a story that most people can relate to, you know, so she's definitely very relatable to myself. So I'm happy that I'm able to portray her story, which very much so is, you know, similar to mine. So it's like, she's my fave.
Okay. It's okay, Tamar. I love that.
Emma, what about you?
I have two in mind. One is the Girl Assassin, because that was just so fun, like being super active on set, and you know, I had to like sprint. I had all these like sprinting scenes. I was like, dang, like I gotta keep this up. Like seriously, like being in shape and stuff feels really good, but it's also difficult. They're like, okay, let's do that like just 2 more times. I'm like, oh, okay, 2 more runs, let's do it. So that was really, really great experience being the Girl Assassin. So funny. And the other one that I have in mind is when I did my first play back in 2019. It was Miracle on 34th Street, and I played the judge, and I just think it was so fun. Like being on stage, like you were saying, is so different energy. Yeah. I would just, after each show, just feel like I was high. Like, and then I'd just be like driving home by myself, like high as hell. Like, and then it's just dark and it's like midnight. You know?
Stage high, you guys.
The stage high. I love that. I love that. So those are my 2 favorite roles. How about you, Chantal?
Nice. I was a sorceress assassin.
Ooh.
Similar, you know, in this web pilot called Summoner's Tale. And that was awesome. Because it, like, you know, it opens the series and I'm, like, running through the woods, like, in an assassin's hood and, like,
that's
you know,
awesome.
running from people. And then, like, I summon, like, this demon thrall to, like, slit throats and I'm vaulting tree branches. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and I was like, and then I found out that the director after that, he's like, so you're, like, in it? Like, you have a whole storyline yourself? And I'm like, yes. So I can't wait when they bring us back on set, probably sometime next year.
Did you say your favorite, your dream role?
Bridgerton.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes. I'm going to do a period film.
Yes. That's right.
With that, ladies, where can people find you when they're looking for you on the interwebs?
I liked how you said that.
Jeanetta's extremely active on Instagram. You can find her there.
You definitely can. You pretty much can find me on whatever, just using my name. I'm so basic, you know. I didn't have time trying to think of anything, you know. Try to be like snazzy with a little cute little nickname or something to put up. I was like, no, call me Zsa-Hnetta Edwards, and that's it. That's it. No, but you definitely can find me on Instagram and Facebook. That's all I'm on right now because we know I'm lacking in the social media realm. But Jeanetta Edwards is all you can do. And it's definitely included with a hyphen. So don't forget that part. So it's going to be ZSA-HNETTA Edwards. Check
With
me
the
out.
hyphen.
With the hyphen. Check the hyphen.
Yeah.
Emma, what about you?
I like to hang out on Instagram, and my handle is Emma_Terrazas, EMMA_TERRAZAS. Like I said, you'll see a lot of fitness and nutrition tips. I coach one-on-one. I coach in groups. Right now I have this really cool program where it's 1 month of coaching together, but we really dive into your routines and your habits that you can really rinse and repeat for a few months to come. Just to go through the new season and decide how you want to show up every single day is so powerful. I know that's been really helpful in my own life. So that's what's going on now. But yeah, I love chit-chatting through the DM, so feel free to DM me and say hey.
All right. And you can find me on all platforms at Chantal Hayes Randall. Like Jeanetta, I was not creative. I was like, look, this is my name. This is where it's at.
Okay.
Same picture. Everything's super consistent. We're all there. And with that, thank you so much for joining us and just giving a lady perspective on all things acting in the Chicago Hollywood industry that we're climbing. We're climbing, y'all. We're climbing.
It's been great. I would like to say one more thing. I think it's awesome. As I get older, I find that I've meshed not so much better with women, but it's just been fun to meet new ladies. I mean, I know I've known you for a while, Jeanetta, but and that's just a nice thing. So I just really enjoyed this time with you, ladies.
I enjoyed this time with you too. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, we got to keep this up. We got to keep this up. We just need more
connection as women. Yes, we need each other.
Yeah.
Sisterhood.
Oh, okay. Well, with that, this has been In My Opinion. Thanks, y'all. Until next time.